everyone, trust you guys are doing great, and I'm back with another video. And in this video I would be talking about a very important thing that almost every student here in Canada or wherever they study, they need is how to write a research paper. I have been flooded with so many questions and emails on how to write essays and research papers, and I have been helping many students in writing their research papers and essays for their college and university purpose. So I thought I would just make a quick video on it so that you will understand how it works. And these research papers at college level, they can vary from 2 pages to 15 or 20 pages. And before I say anything and you say that who am I to know all about it, I have 9+ years of experience as a professor in writing research papers, and I've also helped various students in writing one. And also in Canada, it's been from last 1+ years I've been helping students write research papers. I write research papers for students who don't understand how to do it. So yeah, so let's get started. The very first important thing you need to understand is you just should not do active and passive. So that's what most students do when they write their research papers. They just write the same things again and again. So you don't have to be repetitive, because it will not fetch you marks. If you think you have to meet that 1000 words, 800 words deadline, and just saying the same things again and again would fetch you, so I'm sorry, it will not fetch it. The very first thing you should do is read the instructions very carefully. Now you might say that, okay, I just see the topic and I can start writing. No, you have to read the instructions, because you need to know what is the formatting your college is looking for, what is the word limit, what is the style, everything. What are the scope that they have given in the instructions for selecting your research topic, or is a research topic already given to you? So you need to read the instructions. Please take good 10 minutes. Read the instruction. If they are super long, just reread them and just make points that these are the things that you need to do. So that's how you can get started. Now, first of all, before writing anything else after reading an instruction, is you need to choose a topic carefully. So usually I've seen over the past 1 year in Canada, and in different years of experience that I have, so how it usually works is they give you a broader topic and then you have to select, or they say, based on the readings that we have done from week 1 to week 4 and so subject, you can select any topic. So they might not throw a topic at you, they will give you a very generalized framework, and then you need to select the topic that you need to write for writing your research paper. So it is very, very, very crucial. So you need to understand the topic that interests you and which is interesting for you to write, because if it is already boring and you don't connect with the topic, then as it is half of the battle you have lost here, because you will not feel like working on it. Okay, so you just need to select the topic very, very wisely, so that you understand that you have more research papers. So what usually we do is, you see, let's say it was from week 1 or 4 or for a particular subject, and you see there are 10 readings. So Google, you can have different research papers from Google Scholar or from your university's library, online library that you have. So what you do is, you see the topics that you have studied, and you just write down all these topics, and you see the topic that interests you the most. You pick that topic, you put it on Google Scholar or your university or open library, just put that keyword, and then you will see number of papers coming in. And then you see the title that interests you the most. You pick that title, you open it, you read that paper. You make one paper your base paper that you need to read. No, you are not copying it. You are not just going to change the language and make the same paper again. You're just reading it because that's a base paper for you, and based on it you would be then looking forward for other papers, and then that's how you're going to build up your paper. Now another thing is, you don't have to literally read 20 papers. You just need to read one paper very thoroughly, and then I'll tell you how you can review other papers based on it. So it's very simple. Once you have read one paper carefully, you need to just underline, highlight, take notes, just write down somewhere, so that you remember that what this papers talk about, what is the research methodology the paper is saying, what is the conclusion, what is the research gap probably, what is the model that this paper has used. Now once you have everything clearly, and please let me tell you, reread, be it 3 times, 4 times, you should understand that paper well. Yes, so the next step now becomes is you have to read a lot of other papers so that you can have more material. Now you just have a vague topic and you need to understand how you want to go about it. So what you will be doing is, let's say you have 6 more papers that are related to the keyword that we just searched, and it's very simple. If you're unable to find the paper in the search, then just look for the references and citations and you will see similar papers so that you can pick papers from there. Now you just read the title of the another paper that we're talking about. You read the abstract. I will also come to abstract later, and then I'll tell you that abstract tells you almost everything except the result and conclusion, right? So it just give you that urge to read the paper. Then you read the intro, research methodology, conclusion and limitations. No, this is not the entire paper, trust me. So in just you will read these 5-6 and you will understand, okay, this is the topic, this is what it did, this is the conclusion, this is the method that they have already used here, right? And then you're going to make notes of all those 5-6. Now you have a good research of, let's say, 5 to 7 or 10 depending on the marks or the kind of essay your professor is expecting, because usually they tell you that they need references for at least 3 papers or 5 papers or 6 papers. That means they're expecting you to read those many papers. That's why you can cite them or refer them in your essay or research paper over there. Now when everything is done, you have your topic ready, you have your material ready, highlighted, we will prepare the first draft. And what I usually do is, whenever we start writing, I format it as it is. I do not write everything and then format, because then it changes. So you set the formatting as per the format given by your college or your university, so that you don't have to change anything of these headings, font, or whether they're bold or italic, the page margins, the width, the gap between paragraphs, everything needs to be done beforehand, so that you just set to write. Even if you need to edit, it's fine. So you just start writing, right? You're gonna have your title, you're gonna have your introduction, and also let me tell you, this is just the first draft you're writing. We're gonna have introduction, we're gonna have a body, we're gonna have a conclusion. Now when I say body, this thing varies for different colleges. For instance, a typical research paper would have a title, as in the title of the book that you're doing, and the names of the authors and everything corresponding to this. Then secondly is the abstract. Now abstract in a way is pretty tricky, and your college will tell you that what kind of abstract they want, descriptive or informative. Usually your college wants descriptive, and descriptive means in the abstract of 100 to 200 or 300 words, whatever limit you have. Again, read the instructions. You'll be talking about your purpose, your objective, your methods, and not your result or conclusion. It usually comes in the informative abstract. So you just need to talk about these things, and that's how you're going to write your abstract. Now it's okay if you're not very you think you are not good at framing, then just write it in pointers. You write the heading abstract, you write it in pointers, and you know that you have covered this. You just need to redo it, reframe it. We are just doing a first draft. Then you move on to the second, to the third, which is your introduction. Now introduction will give you a brief summary of your topic. So it basically starts with, you introduce the topic, you introduce your objective of the work, and then you move on and you talk about your methodologies that you have used. If it is empirical paper or a conceptual, that means if it's just a secondary research based on 10-20 papers that you have studied, then your research methodology is something else. If it is a survey, then your research methodology would say it is a primary paper which is based on surveys and of so and so respondents. Then you're going to give all these details. Moving on, then we're going to talk about the results obtained. These could be in form of graph, or just if you just want to write it in para. Moving on, it would be discussion. So discussion would be comparison between the results obtained with those of the researchers that you have studied, or with the similar research areas, that what research results you have obtained versus what others have obtained. Next, your recommendations or anything that you're going to do, then you're going to do acknowledgement, and then you're going to do references. Now, but this varies for different colleges, and this is just a very general view that I have just talked about. It can definitely vary. For instance, let me just give you a little bit idea here. Usually colleges have your introduction, your method, your result, and discussion. So again, this completely varies on the basis of the college you are having. So more or less it is same. Intro, body, conclusion. Now when we talk about abstract, it is very, very important and crucial material. Let's say your research paper is of total 1,000 words, then the abstract could be maybe 400 to 200 depending on the instructions given. So once you have your first draft ready, just read and reread. There would be grammatical mistakes, there would be loose sentences that we need to make, and also they have to be coherent. That means the first thing should link to the second. They should not contradict each other. It has to be a perfect flow. Now you don't understand what all things you want to add, how should I start, then you can start with mind mapping. So what you can do is you just write the center idea in the middle, and then you see all the things related to it, and then you see what all fits, and then say, okay, out of these 10 I'll be using only these 3 in my research paper and not these, whatever, right? So I'll be just selecting these and then I'll focus on it. It's very easy when you jot down everything and you put it everything in front of you. Let's take a quick example. For example, I want to talk about the effect of COVID, this pandemic, on students. So I'm going to write COVID in the center or pandemic in the center, and I'm going to talk about the effect on the students. So effect can be mental, it can be emotional, it can be physical, it can be on their academics, it can be on their extracurricular or co-curricular activities, it can be on their personality development. Now I'll see, I have 10 things here. What do I need to pick? Okay, I need to pick this one. Let's say I want to see that how it has affected their mental health. Now when I talk about mental health, let's say, is it depending on that maybe the academic scores or their studies or their jobs that they do here part-time. So you will see, when you will write these things down, when you will break these things down, you will understand how it works. And once you will write 10-20 things on the paper in front of you, you will be able to pick up the best, and then it's boom, it's done. You have your draft ready. Just read it, reread it, just make sure you do not have any grammatical mistakes. Just take care of it. Referencing is definitely a little difficult, so you can do it online. It's very easy. If you want, I can make another video on how to write different styles. Usually it is APA referencing style, and that you need to cite, and then every college gives you different ways of citing. Again, you need to refer, because your points would be deducted if you do not follow the guidelines that has been shared by your college. So it is literally done. A draft is ready. Now you just need to reread and just set everything up, and it's ready. So you have your introduction, you have your abstract, you have your objective, you have your title, you have your abstract, you have your objective that you're going to talk about in your introduction. So introduction can talk about your objective, your aims, and your research methodology that you have used here. Then in your body, you can talk about whatever entire thing is that you have read out of those paper. You will just write all the things that you found out. Then you can compare that this is what you found and this is what others have found. And if it is already secondary research, obviously you cannot compare unless and until you can compare, like that I have read 10 papers, out of which 8 says these and 2 says this thing. So that's how they differ. So you can just bring out a little comparison and then you can conclude. It's very, very simple. Trust me, it's not that difficult, but it's not a one-day game. It completely depends on the number of words and the time. So if you have, let's say, a 7 to 10 pages research paper, please don't think that you can do it in one day. You might be able to do it if you just copy pasting it and you think you'll be fine. So just don't do it like that. Prepare well, give yourself 2-3 days and you'll be able to write it well. Plagiarism is very, very important. I mean, your paper should be plagiarism free, because usually here in universities, when you upload the paper, it shows the plagiarism there and then, and boom, you're again out if your paper is plagiarized. Plagiarized means you have just literally copy pasted. When you write quotes said by someone, it is not considered plagiarized because you put them in referencing, but you cannot have your entire paper based on just quotes said by someone, right? So you need to be very sure. There are free plagiarism checking softwares that you can check through, not 100% reliable. If your university gives you one, you can check on that, but if you check on the free ones, that's fine. It will give you a little idea. And when you check plagiarism, they show from which website you have literally picked this up. So that's how you know you need to just rephrase it. You need to rephrase those words. You need to write everything in your language, right? So that's all about writing research papers. If you have more question, or if you're stuck with some assignment and you badly need help, please drop in a comment here, or my email ID, just I mentioned again, just drop me an email and let me know if I can be of any help. If you want the videos on how to cite or how to check plagiarism or how to remove plagiarism, just contact me. Have a great day, guys. Bye.